asleep with such racket?
Why ask me, Laura Maxwell? I drive the stage. If you want to ask me a question about driving stage, I'll give you a straight answer. Otherwise, I mind my own business. Engine attack!
For goodness sakes, Gus, you've heard Brenda Oates practicing her singing before.
That was singing?
Mrs. Oates says just because she has to live in a backwater place like Tumbleweed, ain't no reason she should forget about culture.
She calls that caterwall culture.
To each his own, that's what I always say. Playing cards all night again, huh?
I lost a pretty penny to the mayor. I don't mind telling you. If I didn't know the mayor so well, I'd send him in cheats.
I'd say you was probably right.
This couch has more lumps on it than a camel's back. How's the gentleman supposed to sleep on it?
You're not supposed to sleep on it, you're supposed to sit on it.
Very funny. Is there any coffee left?
Fresh pot on the stove, you know where to find it.
Can't you serve me a cup?
I've got enough to do. The upstairs rooms have to be aired.
I intend to complain to the mayor about your attitude.
You do that.
Gentleman in Tumbleweed gets no respect.
Lawyer Maxwell sure likes putting on airs.
He ain't alone. Mrs. Oates don't like card playing in the lobby. She says it ain't refined.
I reckon that's true. But this ain't Philadelphia. It's Tumbleweed.
Tumbleweed, tumbleweed. To think that Lilac, formerly of Seattle, is stuck in this one-horse town.
Ugh. We got more than one horse in this town.
I hope that none of my friends find out where I am. I have a reputation to consider.
Good morning, Electra.
Good morning, Professor.
Morning, Miss Lilac.
Professor?
Ah, the mail's there. Anything for me?
Ask Amos Sessions. He's the postmaster.
Amos Sessions reads other people's mail.
Maybe he wouldn't read other people's mail if they go to the library like they promised.
This town is full of promises. The mayor promised me I could operate a gambling concession. That was 5 months ago. Each month, he charges me a fee for considering my request. If you ask me, he's running a racket.
Think I'll go into the dining room and have my breakfast. Bacon, eggs, pancakes, and syrup.
I'm sorry, Professor Burns. You can't go in there.
Why not? I'm hungry.
Guests only.
What do I look like, a thief in the night?
In this crummy town, who'd notice?
Mayor says you haven't paid anything since you've been here. You've been eating and sleeping for free, and if you don't pay up, he's going to have you arrested and tossed in jail.
Arrested?
Broke, huh, Professor?
Temporary inconvenience, I assure you.
What about your medicine show? I thought medicine shows were moneymakers.
I had a run of sour luck. My Indian princess ran off with the piano player. If that wasn't bad enough, they took the dancing bear with them. What's a medicine show without a dancing bear?
I'll bite you. What's a medicine show without a dancing bear?
Unbearable. Maybe the mayor will let me pay him off with bottled medicine. It's also good for polishing furniture and dissolving rust.
Mayor Oates likes money.
So do I.
Me too.
Just how broke are you, Professor?
Let me put it this way. If a trip to the Mexican border costs 10 cents, I wouldn't have enough to make it to the sidewalk.
That's broke.
I wrote my big brother in San Francisco and asked for a loan. He's bound to help me.
When did you scribble them?
Last week.
His answer won't be in this mailbag. Takes a couple of months, maybe, to get an answer from San Francisco.
Months.
Why don't you sell your medicine show wagon?
Buy it.
You're like having her, right?
The Undertaker?
He's always complaining his hearse is falling apart.
Folks don't want to see their dearly departed riding around in a medicine show wagon. All that red and gold paint and pictures of a dancing bear shaking a tambourine. It wouldn't be decent.
I am hungry.
Mayor says it's beans until you pay up.
Beans? For breakfast?
Lunch and dinner too. Yes or no?
Yes.
That's what I figured.
Beans. Bell!
There's no need to shout, Gus.
I figure I gotta shout. Otherwise, I won't get heard.
Morning, Professor Burns.
Howdy, Miss Julie.
Miss Lilac.
If you see your father before I do, tell him I'd like a word.
Happy to.
Here's the mail!
Why don't you leave it with Amy Sessions?
On account of the post office is locked tighter than a buffalo drum. I can't drop mail on the porch on account of it's against regulations.
Just a song at twilight, when the lights are low, and the flickering shadows softly come and go. Though the heart be weary, still the day and low, still to hot twilight comes the last old song, comes along so sweet, song. I'm in a splendid voice this morning, if I do say so myself.
You might as well say so. No one else is gonna.
I do appreciate the pathetic ballads more than the romantic ones.
You should be a happy woman, Miranda. That was truly pathetic.
Thank you, Gus.
Professor, is that all you're having for breakfast?
Beggars can't be choosers.
I don't understand.
Don't concern yourself with a charity case, Julie.
Hey!
Charity case?
The professor is broke.
I'm expecting funds from my big brother any day now.
Any day now. I won't be coming through Tumbleweed for at least another 4 weeks.
I'm expecting funds from my big brother any week now.
Oh, I see.
Well, I best get back to the stage. I got some passengers and I reckon they's wondering where I'm at. If you see Mr. Sessions, tell him I left the mailbag here.
Here? This is not the post office.
Oh, the post office was locked. I'll take the mail over and wait for Amos. I don't mind.
Now, Julie,
Yes, Mother?
if you see that dreadful young prospector on the street, I forbid you to speak with him.
Luther?
You know perfectly well who I mean. Luther, yes. Worthless rogue. I will not have a penniless drifter casting soulful glances in my daughter's direction.
Luther's a nice young man.
Don't contradict your own mother. In good society, it's considered impolite.
Well, I haven't seen Luther in days.
If only I could believe that. Being a mother and a concert artist is not easy.
Luther made eyes for Miss Julie, but Miss Julie's got eyes for him too, you know.
Don't be insolent, Electra. Don't you have some rooms to air?
Yup.
Well, in that case, air them.
I'm going. You know what that means yet, Professor?
Not yet.
That, I assure you, is the last meal you will eat in this hotel.
Meal? You call this a meal? No salad, no beverage, no roll. This meal isn't fit for a condemned prisoner.
How interesting you should mention the word prisoner. My husband, the mayor, intends to have you arrested for non-payment of bills. We're not running a soup kitchen here, Professor. My husband and I will have no truck with deadbeats. So, pay up or face the music. Music!
Did she just call me a deadbeat?
She called you a deadbeat.
The mayor is married to a dragon, a fire-breathing dragon.
Who sings? They're the worst kind.
You have no right to treat an honest man so shabbily.
Looks like we're in the same buckboard, Professor.
How's that, Mr. Lilac?
Call me Lily.
I don't suppose you'd consider making me a small loan, Lily. Not much. Even a few silver dollars would help.
I'm as broke as you are.
What? You too? What about them jewels you're wearing?
Hey, sir. I could make a bundle with the cards and the dice, but the mayor says I have to have a license. He keeps promising the license, but it never appears. He's managed to get a lot of money out of me with his worthless promises. This town is weird. I can't quite put my finger on it, but something's amiss.
Gosh, Lily, if you think Tumbleweed is weird, why did you come here? I mean, I didn't have a choice. My medicine wagon broke down at the town line.
Everywhere I went, I heard about this new boomtown called Tumbleweed. I figured I'd get in on the ground floor. Instead, I'm stuck in the sand.
Where are the others, Sheriff?
What's awesome about, Mayor?
You'll soon find out. Miranda!
It's Mayor Oates and the sheriff.
I better make myself scarce.
Danger! We're all in great danger!
I wish you'd stop saying that. Tell me what the trouble be.
Morning, Mayor Oates.
Trouble? You don't know the meaning of the word trouble.
Morning, Sheriff Plunkett.
What's in that letter?
Letter. Letter. You call this a letter?
Yeah, I call it a letter. What do you call it?
Disaster! Ruin! Calamity!
Nice weather we're having.
Miranda!
I ain't never seen you like this, Mayor.
You won't be so calm when you hear the news. Miranda!
What news?
What is going on in here? I don't allow loud conversation in the lobby. It's unseemly.
Your husband is acting like a cuckoo clock.
Cuckoo clock.
Cuckoo clock my foot!
Calm down, husband. You're making a spectacle of yourself.
Never mind that. We've got more important matters to deal with. Disaster! Ruin! Calamity!
I'll get the bicarbonate of soda. It always relaxes your nervous stomach.
Make it a double. I am not a well man. What have I done to deserve this?
Well, if you ain't gonna explain what's ailing me, I best get back to the jail. It's time to feed my chickens.
You shouldn't raise chickens in the jail. I warned you about that before. It don't look right.
It is impossible to sleep in this place. I finally managed to doze off at the kitchen table, but my snooze didn't last long. While I was shouting,
Disaster, ruin, calamity.
Bad trouble. Knocking at the door.
I don't hear anything.
Miranda better hurry with that bicarbonate of soda.
The others will be here any moment, cousin.
I'll never forgive you for this, Amos. Even incompetence has its limits.
I didn't misplace that letter on purpose. I'm an innocent victim of circumstance.
You've always run a post office in a slipshod fashion, and Miss Only proves it.
Tisk, tisk.
Just yourself.
What's all the excitement? Maybe we should drop everything. So fast, people fall out. Run!
Why? How's a man supposed to think with all this jabbering?
Here's your bicarbonate of soda. Drink every drop, and you'll feel much better.
Stop gawking at me. Sit down, sit down. Might as well make yourself comfortable while you can.
I reckon that letter came in on the stage.
Where were you, Amos? Gus said the post office was closed.
He was looking for me with this.
It wasn't my fault. I discovered several letters on the floor behind the file cabinet. It must have dropped there when I wasn't looking.
So what?
2 months old at least.
2 months? That's a long time to be lost behind a filing cabinet.
I repeat, so what?
Well, it took me an hour to read the letters.
Amos, I don't think it's proper to read other people's mail.
But I like to read. You can learn a lot by reading other people's mail. A person's got to do something to amuse himself in this town. It's not exactly Paris, is it?
Nope, but the climate's good for raising chickens.
I think the cat must have knocked it behind the file cabinet.
Shut up, Amos.
Husband!
Mayor,
There is no time for chit-chat.
There's always time for chit-chat.
Not with this letter in my hand.
What is so special about that letter?
It's from Boston. Boston! Yes, Boston. Let me refresh your memories. 7 years ago, I was hired by John Prescott of Boston, Massachusetts to establish a town here in the Arizona desert.
A town that would one day become capital of the territory.
I was to hire the best people available.
And you did.
I did not hire the best people available. I hired my shirt-tail relatives. I hired all of you.
You've always been a generous man, Obadiah.
Now I'm paying for it.
You don't mean that, cousin.
Due to, I'm about to lose my dream. Another man might call himself the Bull of Wall Street, but I like to call myself the Bull of Tumbleweed.
Bully for you!
Bully! On every stage, John Prescott has been sending money to help develop the town here. By this time, he expects a thriving community.
Hospital, school.
Jail.
Civilization, the perfect town for the territorial capital. He doesn't know that most of his money has been squandered on your salaries, your upkeep, and your incompetence.
Our salaries aren't all that much once you take a kickback.
At least I've kept it in the family.
John Prescott would never come to Tumbleweed. The man's over 100 years old.
The trip from Boston would kill him.
No such luck.
Husband, that is no way to speak of our benefactor.
This letter was written to me by our cousin Horace.
Oh, how nice. How is dear cousin Horace?
Never mind that. Listen up. Dear cousin Obadiah, I hate that name.
The letter, get on with it.
I want to let you know that John Prescott is sending an inspector your way.
Inspector?
He has instructions to investigate the progress at Tumbleweed.
What progress?
John Prescott wants to make sure his money is being well spent. As you know, he considers having Tumbleweed, the territorial capital, a sound business investment.
What are we gonna do, Obi?
I feel fine.
Being at home, not here.
I must warn you that the inspector will try to pass himself off as an ordinary traveler. I suggest you take every precaution. I believe the inspector is actually an operative from the Pinkerton Detective Agency.
The Pinkerton
Detective?
Agency.
Pinkerton agents are bloodhounds. Once they sink their teeth in, they never let go.
This is the scary part. He should be there any day now unless he's already in Tumbleweed incognito.
In what?
Cognito.
Sounds vulgar to me.
It means the Pinkerton agent will come to Tumbleweed in disguise. You won't know who he is.
What will happen when John Prescott gets the agent's report?
We made it all into pine bars.
We've got to make this town look as good as we can. Doc, who have you got in the hospitals?
No patients, just some drifters and desert bums. I rent them a flock for 2 bits.
What'll happen when the agent discovers that the local medical establishment is actually run by a horse doctor who was kicked out of Texas for incompetence?
I resent that. I was never kicked out of Texas for incompetence. It was Arkansas.
Please put clean sheets on the hospital beds and sweep the floor. The last time I was there, the place disgusted me. It was like a kennel with all those yapping dogs running around.
I like dogs.
You get rid of them chickens. Rent us some prisoners.
Where'll I find him?
Use some of the tramps who've been sleeping at the hospital. They don't care where they bunk.
Good idea, Doc. Thanks.
Harry, prove you're the town planning engineer. Get out some blueprints and scatter them over your desk.
I know how to look busy.
What do I do about the school? There's no roof, and the pupils only show up when they feel like it.
There's no roof because you spend all the money you earn on yourself. And the students only show up when they feel like it because they know you're practically illiterate.
You always say that because your daughters are dumbbells.
How dare you! You can't insult my girls!
Let's keep our eyes on the main. Fortunately, I've been writing up a proposal, one and only why Tumbleweed would make the great ideal capital.
Excellent. That'll impress the Snoop.
Unless he finds out Lawyer Maxwell was disbarred from practice.
Let's see that he doesn't find out that.
I don't think a convicted felon can legally hold the position of postmaster.
I presume you're referring to the misunderstanding with the forged check back in Ohio?
Exactly.
I admit, I did a terrible thing. I was young, I was foolish, and I needed money. Unless someone tells the Pinkerton man, he need never know. Never know.
We must make a good impression on the fellow. The report he sends back to Boston must say everything in Tumbleweed is progressing nicely.
Ha!
Alas, that won't be easy.
Would you like to find yourself out of a job?
There is always work for an undertaker.
Husband, if that letter is 2 months old,
It is.
then the Pinkerton man must already be here. The letter said he'd be here any day. If he isn't already, and that was 2 months ago.
Jeez, right! Any strangers in town? The drifters don't stay long, in and out.
I haven't buried anyone since April.
Wait! I know who it is! Who? Who's been hanging around town for the last few weeks?
Of course, it has to be him. Who else? The medicine show man.
Professor Burns! Why, he's completely penniless, and his medicine show doesn't even exist. All he's got is an old wagon painted red and gold and some vial stuffed in bottles.
Naturally, a perfect cover. You wouldn't inspect a Pinkerton agent to show up as himself.
Clever young man.
Good heavens! I was gonna have him arrested. I was gonna kick him out of the hotel.
And I was mean to him. Oh, he only had beans for breakfast.
His report to Boston will be vicious.
Everyone, family, we must pull together. Clean up the town. Sweep, dust, polish.
That won't be enough.
It's a start.
Put on your happy faces.
Why look so awfully tragic? Put on a happy face. Smiling can work like magic. Put on a happy face.
I wonder where the professor could be.
He must be found. If you're looking for Professor Burns, I think you'll find him at the town hall.
What town hall?
There is no town hall.
Just a hole in the ground that was dug 2 years ago.
Why are we standing around flapjawing when there's work to be done?
Yes! Sink or swim!
Win or lose.
Up or down?
Victory or defeat!
We hang together or we hang separately. What's it to be?
Separately!
Separately?
Remain together. One for all for one.
Well, in that case, charge!
Obadiah, your nervous stomach.
Don't look so good.
Party start!
I'll touch it.
I'm
poking it.
They set a good table.
Indeed.
Nice and clean, too.
I should hope so. Such an inconvenience.
Hey, Miranda! How about some service?
This, I assume, is the lobby?
That it is, Miss Baywater. That it is.
It's not the Palace Hotel in Baltimore, but I suppose we could adore one night here.
Tumbleweed ain't so bad. I've seen worse. Of course, I reckon you're used to the big city and such.
What a pity we couldn't have taken the train all the way to our destination.
You're in the Wild West now. Person has to make do with what's what.
I suppose.
Where is everybody? Hey!
Must you make so much noise?
Gotta be heard, don't I?
I abhor ruckus behavior.
So do I. What's that mean? Rocket.
No doubt, Tumbleweed will be populated by rustics.
Nope. Most of the folks here is American.
You still in town, Gus?
Naturally, I'm still in town. I'm standing here, ain't I?
So dry and dusty. I've been inhaling the dirt of the road for almost a day and a half.
These be my passengers, Miss Baywater and Miss Baywater. They're visiting their married sister at Fort Drywell.
Our sister is married to Major Diamond Foot. One day, he'll be a general, maybe even a president.
They had to leave the train at Tucson.
Here in the Wild West, things seem to start, and then stop. A touch of civilization, and then tumbleweed.
I reckon.
You still in town, Gus?
This ain't me. It's somebody else.
The strangest thing. I saw a mob of people heading to that big hole in the ground. You mean where the town hall is supposed to be? Yes.
Maybe somebody fell in. Didn't have nothing better to do. Here's the strong box. I forgot to bring it in with the mailbag earlier. I always ride with it under my seat.
Oh, Daddy, you'll be so pleased. There's nothing like a strong box from Boston to make him smile.
These be my passengers, Miss Baywater and Miss Baywater.
They're riding to Fort Drywell. A long journey. We're visiting our sister. Their sister's married to Major Diamond Rat. His name is Diamond Foot. He could be president one day.
They's gonna need a room for the night, Julie, on account of my rig split a wheel and I ain't got no spare. Blacksmith says he'll have it fixed by morning. I'll get me a flight with the hospital. Cheaper than staying here.
The hospital? I'm sure we can make you ladies comfortable. I'm Julie Oates. My parents run this here hotel. Julie's father is the mayor.
The mayor? How nice. I always get along well with elected politicians. I'll enjoy meeting your pater, Julie.
Pater? You don't mean pater, Miss Baywater. You mean Papa.
I'll mosey on over to the blacksmith's and see how it's getting on. I don't want him fixing that wheel with spitting glue.
We'll take good care of Miss Baywaters.
Are you still in town, Gil?
If you ladies will be kind enough to sign the register. Certainly. There's plenty of free ink. Use all you like. I opened all the bedroom windows. Don't be afraid to breathe deep. I should like a bath. No problem. I'll get you a nice big towel. Your creek's out back.
Creek? Big towel? You expect me to bathe in an outdoor creek?
I'm afraid we don't have an indoor creek.
How barbaric. Tumbleweed's the last stop to nowhere.
The next town ain't nowhere, Miss Baywater. It's Dead Man's Gulch.
Dead Man's Gulch? How distasteful.
You ladies are from Baltimore. Oh, how nice. Mother will be so pleased. We never had anyone from Baltimore staying here before.
That's not surprising.
We should like to be shown to our rooms. Of course, Electra give these ladies the room with the rug. Follow me, ladies.
Our luggage is on the stagecoach.
I'll see to it.
Oh, you're such a charming young lady, Julie. How unfortunate you're hidden away here in Tumbleweed. One day you'll make a young man a happy husband.
I will if his name is Luther.
Luther? Who's Luther?
Miss Julie!
That's Luther. Well, in that case, we'll leave you two alone.
He reminds me of someone.
Who are you thinking of?
Miss Julie!
Luther!
Miss Julie!
Luther, you shouldn't be here.
Miss Julie!
If Father saw you come in, there could be a scene.
What do I care? I want the whole world to know that I love Miss Julie Oates of Tumbleweed, Arizona. I want the whole world to know that one day I plan to make her my bride.
Oh, Luther.
Give a thirsty man a kiss, Miss Julie.
I couldn't. someone might see us.
What's the problem? I'm begging for that kiss, Miss Julie.
Well, I've always been kind to beggars. Very well, one kiss, but make it brief.
Thank you, Miss Julie. That kiss will inspire me on my quest for desert gold.
Look, Antoinette.
We've been discovered.
Don't you two girls know how to knock before you walk into a room?
Why should we knock?
This is the lobby of a public hotel.
The door's always open.
Night and day.
Anyway, we know you're sweet on Miss Julie.
And we know Miss Julie's sweet on you.
I've seen you girls before.
The Dobb sisters.
Tilly.
Antoinette.
Their father's the town planner.
Daddy's gonna make Tumbleweed the finest town there is.
He's been saying that for years. Daddy says we have to be patient.
Daddy says patience is its own reward.
If patience is its own reward, Tumbleweed should be rich by now. I've never seen a town that took so long to get built.
Why aren't you girls in school?
There's no roof on the schoolhouse.
There hasn't been a roof on the schoolhouse for years, but Miss Crabtree still conducts classes.
Reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Yes, but there were storm clouds in the sky.
And who wants to sit in a stupid schoolroom and get all wet? Anyway, we're supposed to meet Mommy and Daddy here.
We're going to have lunch in the hotel dining room.
I'm gonna have 2 pieces of peach pie, because next month's my birthday.
Hey, how about you go in there and pick out a real nice table?
You just want to get rid of us.
You want to make me move cowboys at each other?
This is bad, Luther.
What? You afraid your mother's gonna find out? Because I'm not afraid of your mother. Much. Anyway.
Oh, Tilly and Antoinette Dobbs are terrible little gossips. They'll tell everyone you kissed my hand.
That's nothing to be ashamed of, Miss Julie. My love for you's unblemished.
Mother says you're a rogue.
A rogue?
A worthless rogue.
That's not true. I value myself very highly.
Mother says you're a drifter.
A drifter?
A penniless drifter.
Well, one day, I'll strike it rich. Boy, your mother sure is shy with compliments.
Luther,
Yes, Miss Julie?
may I ask you a question?
Anytime.
What's a rogue?
Morning, Julie.
Morning, Witter Haskins. I reckon you know Luther.
All prospectors and desert rats look alike to me. He's younger and better looking than most. I'll give him that. Julie, the other day when your mother was in my general store,
Did she borrow something again, Witter Haskins?
Well, as a matter of fact, she did. She borrowed a hat with an ostrich feather, an embroidered traveling cloak, a pair of shoes with silver buckles, gloves, an Italian brooch, a string of imitation pearls, a dozen hand towels, and a corset with whalebone stamps.
Boy, that's a lot to borrow.
Your father borrowed a pair of shoes, back, 2 neckties, and some trousers, 3 pairs of Italian socks, 1 pair black, 1 pair brown, also a pair of Wellington boots, a box of cigars, and a walking stick.
Witter Haskins, that's not borrowing. That's pillaging.
You said it, I did. Julie dear, please tell your parents if they're finished with those items, I like them back. I like to sell things when they look new and unused.
I'm sure they just must have forgot. They must have just slipped their minds.
Yes, I'm sure that's what happened. Until next time.
Miss Aloy don't fit much in the room. I pointed out the blue wallpaper, but I guess they're used to more fancy surroundings.
Visitors from Baltimore came in on the stage.
All the way from Baltimore. Imagine.
Better get ready for lunch, Electra. We've already got customers.
This early? Who?
Oh,
It's Antoinette and Tilly Dobbs.
why aren't they in school? Not that they learn much from Miss Crabtree. The other day, I asked her for the Declaration of Independence,
borrowed last month. Sheriff and doctor and even Miss Crabtree. My, son excited.
Come on, Julie, let's see what's causing all the ruckus.
Let's.
I think they made this cheap suit out of plane. It sheds. Not only that, I lose some of it every time I sneeze.
Come on, Julie, we'll miss the hoopla.
Excitement is rare in Tumbleweed.
Professor,
You addressing me, Lily?
we have to talk. Park it.
Okay. I'm listening.
Listen good. It's just like I figured. Everyone who works for this town is a crook.
Crook?
The mayor, the doc, the undertaker, the postmaster, the whole lot.
Got any proof?
I overheard them admit it. The mayor called a meeting because some Pinkerton agent is investigating Tumbleweed. They think you're him.
Who?
I just told you, some Pinkerton agent. Here's what you've got to do. Go along with the gag. Since they think you're him, they can be played for suckers. They deserve it. I've been treated badly. And so have you.
That's true. I've got my pride.
Seeing some old guy back in Boston by the name of John Prescott has been feeding Mayor Oates money to build up Tumbleweed. The mayor's been stuffing the dough in his own pocket. What he doesn't pay out to his relatives, that is.
Relatives?
They're all related. The whole pack, kissing cousins.
Well, what do you know?
Work it right, and we will both have enough money to get out of this sand-trapped town.
I wonder if I can carry it off.
If you can sell that smelly snake oil you've got in bottles, you can sell anything.
You're right, Lily. I'd still be working if my Indian princess had run off with the dancing bear, with the piano player and the dancing bear.
Will you forget about the dancing bear? Play your cards right, and I'll go back to Seattle in style. And you'll have enough to buy a whole circus.
We have been treated unjustly.
Let's even the score. Look at it this way, Professor. If you don't play along, what's the alternative?
Beans and jail.
You won't like jail.
I don't like beans either. I'll do it.
Jackpot. All you have to do is string them along. They'll do the rest. They're a bunch of chicken heads.
The mayor was gonna throw me out of the hotel for a few lousy dollars. He took your money and he wasn't gonna give you anything in return.
I told you, he's a crook. They're all crooks. Get busy.
Paper and pencil. What's this for?
Write something. That'll make them nervous. The more nervous we keep them, the better for us.
Yeah.
We're in this together, Professor.
It's a deal.
In the hotel?
What does he think of us?
They're coming back. Start writing.
Leave it to me.
I'm sure it's the professor. It looked just like him.
Let me do the talking.
Dear Mr. Prescott, I wish I could write a good report regarding the situation here in Tumbleweed. The truth is...
My dear fellow, my dear friend.
You mean me?
Why didn't you tell us who you were? We have nothing to hide.
We're all honest people.
Honest!
Honest as the day is long.
Longer, even.
You'll have to excuse me, Mayor Oates. I want to finish this letter. I wanted to go on the stagecoach first thing in the morning.
I knew who you were all the time. I did, didn't I, Julie? Julie, I've forbidden you to have anything to do with that drifter.
Is It's a free country.
My daughter deserves better than you.
Don't forget about Luther, Miranda. You got bigger fish to fry.
You knew who I was, huh?
Of course I did. I was only teasing when I said my husband was going to have you arrested. Hee hee.
My wife was making a joke. Nothing but a joke. A harmless little joke. That's all it was. A harmless little joke.
I don't like only beans for breakfast.
Another little joke. Only beans for breakfast. Don't you think that's funny?
Perhaps Professor Burns doesn't have a sense of humor.
No one was addressing you, Miss Lilac. Ignore her, Professor. She's a gambling woman from Seattle. I don't approve of gambling. Have nothing to do with her.
Just who do you people think I am?
A Pinkerton man. I can always tell a Pinkerton man when I see one.
Not only that, I read in a letter that said you was coming.
Now you don't let the cat out of the bag.
I suppose it doesn't matter that you know who I am. I've been sent here by John
Prescott.
That's right, Prescott.
I'm told he's a lovely man. Kind, thoughtful, and considerate. A man of sterling character.
There was no need for secrecy.
That's the way the Pinkerton man works.
I hope you won't judge me too harshly. You probably noticed the hospital was filled with derelicts. I can explain that.
Them chickens in the jail don't belong to me.
About the missing room from the school,
There's a good reason why the town hall hasn't been built.
Everyone, please. You will only confuse Professor Burns.
we want you to take back a good report.
We may be removed from society, but we are not uncultured baboons.
Let me be frank with you. I have no money because the people I hired to work with me in the medicine show turned out to be thieves.
Thieves? If there's anything I can't buy, it's a thief.
They stole everything, including Wallace.
Wallace?
The dancing bear. You see, John Prescott has interests in several towns in the territory. I needed good cover for traveling from one town to another.
Say no more. As a lawman, I understand the need for traveling incognito.
I couldn't pay my hotel bill if I wanted to.
Don't give it another thought. You're our guest, and we wouldn't think of charging you a penny.
We're all honest people.
Honest?
Money is everything when you don't have any. For
Oh,
example,
pshaw, what's money?
A bit of paper, a piece of silver.
William Shakespeare said it best. He who steals trash steals my name, but he who steals my name gets trashed.
I think I read that in the letter.
money is everything when you don't have any. For example, how am I supposed to pay for my board and room?
You can take our apartment, please. I copied the sitting room from a picture in Harper's Weekly. You'll notice there's no spittoon.
I wouldn't want to put you out.
No worries, Professor. As they say in Spanish, aquí está su casa.
What does that mean?
My house is your house.
Make yourself at home.
We'll use some upstairs rooms. You must have the apartment, we insist.
Yes,
Since you put it that way.
Electra, we'll have lemonade and claret and chocolate cake. I'll entertain by singing a ballad. What shall I sing? I know. I'll sing memories that gold cannot buy.
Is that a romantic or a pathetic?
Ignore the girl, Professor. She has no couth. Everybody, you're all invited. A little welcoming party for our good friend and distinguished visitor from Boston,
Professor Tom Burns.
Pinkerton man.
Hooray!
I really ought to finish this report.
Oh, nonsense, my good sir. Plenty of time for that later.
It's time we formally welcomed you to Tumbleweed.
Adios, incognito.
Always a pleasure to meet a Pinkerton man.
My lab is at your disposal.
If you ever need my services, there will be no charge.
Welcome to Tumbleweed, Professor.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Anything you need, just ask.
Perhaps you could speak to my pupils.
How about some free stamps?